Hello, my friends. It's summer reading time, my favorite time of the year when I actually have time to read all the books that I can recommend to you next year. So this video is specifically geared for my upcoming 10th graders, 11th graders, and my seniors. So if you fall into that category, you are watching the right video. As you know, we are on the library homepage. There's a link to our Manganello collection if you're interested in reading either or audiobooks this summer. Now, just like last year, our expectations for summer reading are posted on our summer reading page, which you see here. Click on that. It takes you to an explanation of what we do for summer reading. Now, your assignments are posted here. So if you have either AP English 3, AP English 4, or college composition, you have specific assignments for this summer, which are linked right under this red link. So if you click on here, you're going to get those specific summer assignments and their reading requirements. But everyone who falls under the category of any class not listed there, our English 2, 3, and 4 students, you are required to read a book of your choice. We want it to be something you're actually excited about, that you could come back in the fall and talk to me about, talk to your English teacher about, and talk to your classmates about. So that is included as part of our district parent letter. If your parent is interested in looking at that letter, it's posted here. There's a tutorial to add Manganello to your smartphone. So if you want to do an or an audiobook for that requirement, that's absolutely fine. And you can watch my tutorial here. The summer reading video you're watching is posted here. And then you have 3 different ways you can participate. We have reading recommendations. That's going to be all of the reading recommendations that myself and Mrs. Hanasewski have gathered for you. It's not a complete list, but it is our kind of favorite recommendations for students who might be interested in reading this summer. Sharing your selections we'll get to, and joining the journey as well. So let's start out with reading recommendations. I've upgraded this a bit this year, so you have my Goodreads that you can follow me on. For example, I just finished Sea Stories, which is by Admiral William H. McRaven. You may know him from that famous speech he did as part of the commencement speech for the University of Texas a few years back, which became a book. This is the story of his life as a Navy SEAL, which I was interested in because I can't imagine what it's like to be a Navy SEAL. And I love a great memoir because you can kind of try on what someone else's life experience has been. You notice that I'm reading a lot of nonfiction these days. I don't know why. It's just like I get on a line of reading, and that's the direction I go. I also read a great book about Arlington National Cemetery, which was in the news this weekend, Memorial Day weekend, because President Biden was there laying a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier. This is a book all about the soldiers that operate Arlington National Cemetery, and it was really, really interesting to read. I've got a bunch of other recommendations there. And if you follow me on Goodreads, you will be able to know over the summer exactly what I'm reading moment to moment. I also post everything I read in the summer on Instagram. So if you think that you want to, follow me that way, you can. Reading recommendations, we've got fiction, classics, and nonfiction. So we'll start with fiction. Again, not a complete list. I don't even know what a complete list of fiction might be, but we have lots of my favorite authors, Mrs. Hanasewski's favorite authors, new books by those authors. For example, this is Kwame Alexander's newest book. So if you liked Booked, or if you like the crossover, this is a novel in verse, but it's historical fiction. It's about an 11-year-old who's living in what would be current day Ghana, and it's really a great book. And the interesting thing about this book, if you find someone to read it with, is Mrs. Hanasewski and I both read this book, and we both have different opinions about what happened at the ending. She read it one way, I read it another. We have to wait for the sequel to come out so that we can decide who is on the right track. We've got tons of others. If you're the kind of person that likes to read the book before you go see the movie, A man called Uwe actually became a man called Otto, which you may have seen this spring with Tom Hanks. So it's a great idea to read the book and then go see the movie. Or if you've seen the movie, pick up the book because I guarantee you it's different. We've got graphic novels. Flamer is a fantastic graphic novel. The illustrations are amazing and the storytelling is really top notch. So if you like a graphic novel or a comic, that's a fine thing to read. Remember, we want you to come back excited that you've read something that you can share. The expectation as far as what you choose, that's up to you. I've got everything on here from kind of classics to favorites, to things that we have just read. I just finished Clara and the Sun. If you are one of those people who loves the idea of AI and what is going to happen when the computers take over the world, Clara is an artificial friend. She lives in a world where we no longer have in-person friends that we go to school with. We now have to buy our friends at the store. Clara comes home as this new character's friend, and she sees the world very differently because she's not seeing it as we see it. She's seeing it through the lens of AI. So it's a really interesting one. Let's see, you've got Truly Devious. This is one of my favorite mysteries of the last few years. This is a series. I always say summer is a great time to get immersed in a series because you always have something to read next, so you don't have to wonder what to continue with. Truly Devious is a story of Stevie Bell, and Stevie is a detective. She is trying to solve the Ellingham Academy's Truly Devious case, and that was a serial killer that had been working that particular area, and she's about to do it when her friends begin to disappear. So this is a great one if you want to get into a series. I think the fifth book in this series is out now, and that's on my summer reading list. I already bought it because I was so excited that it has a new installment in that series. Those Who Wish Me Dead, you've probably heard me talk about this one. This was on HBO Max, or Max as they're now calling it, last year as an Angelina Jolie movie, so you could absolutely do a read alike, watch the movie. However, I'm going to warn you right now, movie got 1 star and they completely redid the plot, so you would have to both read and watch to compare because, you know, it's not anything like the original book, which was disappointing because the book is great. This is another one where, in this case, a 14-year-old witnesses a murder and it's a mob hit. So he has to go into the witness protection program and they put him in this outward bound and they get him out in the wilderness. And of course, the bad guys know exactly where he is. It's got a bunch of twists and turns. So if you are the kind of person that likes twists and turns, this is a great one. I've got a bunch of different recommendations on here for you and you can kind of go through that at your leisure. But what else do we have here? We have, if you scroll all the way to the bottom of any of these pages, you can see I got a ton. Sharing Selections is a Padlet. You are more than welcome to drop your recommendation to add to my reading list for the summer. This is going to be open and working all summer long, so if you read something you think I'll like, go ahead and post me a recommendation. In addition to that, you can see we've got a ton here that other people have posted. We've got Joining the Journey. This is where we're going to post anything that's upcoming or something of interest to you. So we've got the connection to the South Brunswick Public Library. Get yourself to the public library. They have a great summer reading program. They also have events for all ages, all sorts of interesting activities and contests going on that you definitely want to be involved in. Once they update, I will post all of that here. Barnes & Noble is actually a really great place to go for both authors who may be appearing at Barnes & Noble this summer and online versions of that. So they have a lot of online connections to authors now since the pandemic, and that's a great way to kind of get more connected with an author. So really, my goal is to, as usual, have you read something. So if you need a recommendation, you know you can always email me, but I've got tons here. You can follow me in real time on Goodreads and Instagram, and I hope you come back excited to share one thing that you read this summer that you think I should read. All right, have a great summer and enjoy a great book.